Listen to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Lynda Eisenmann is with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron. Good to be with you.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Got a little technical issue right there. We'll get that corrected real quick. Save this number in your phone. Hello. There we go. Looks like we got that corrected. A little fun this morning. Hey, what are we celebrating today? National, well, let's look at, there's a couple of them here. We have to figure out what is the best National VJ Day. This day, 1945, news broke around the world. The imperial government of Japan would surrender, entering a long, grueling world war. In Europe, the date was August 15th due to the time zone. But regardless of celebrations that broke out, were no less zealous. August 14th, National VJ Day. Victory over Japan is what that acronym is for those who are keeping score. And on the other side, just the fun side of it, National Creamsicle Day for those of you who have beaten anorexia, as I have. What else is going on? Let's look at the markets. The markets we had a good day in the markets. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 112 points. Oil up ever so slightly. And as always, we do look in this segment, we'll look a little bit at the bond market, what the bonds are doing. But obviously, we save that for the Mortgage Minute to be more specific. Wow, the Japanese 10-year, I'm looking at that. That's all the way up to 0.1%. Think about that one. 0.1%. Put $1,000 in, and you get $1,010. You can almost do better than that in the Powerball, but that's just a different story there. Actually, I guess you might not do as well. And I tried, as I talked to you yesterday, I did try to return my Powerball tickets. Yeah, they said no returns on those. So that's just anybody that got bad tickets like I did that didn't have any value to them. It's not like going to Costco. They just don't take everything back when you're dealing with those things. It's amazing. What else is happening in the news? We've been watching a lot the numbers and what's going on in Turkey is a big issue, obviously. What's going on, especially what's going on in the tariff issues. It's another one of those big issues that we're watching. Why are we watching so closely what's going on with the tariffs and the tariff war? Now, I'm going to suggest to you, and I know being a conservative individual, most people are going to tell me that I'm nuts. They do that on a regular basis anyway. But at this time, the tariffs are not a bad thing. When you've got an unbelievable economy, an economy that is going very, very strong, 4.1% GDP last quarter, and it looks like it might even be better this time. Do you want to get involved in something like this when you've got a weak economy, maybe doing like under 1% as we had in 2016? Probably not the right time to do something like this. Right now, when we can try and level the playing field with other countries, Yeah, now it is the right time to deal with it. Now is the time to say, you know something? Quit messing with the U.S. economy. Quit trying to steal our stuff. And let's get onto a level playing field. That's what the tariffs are doing. Now, could you imagine? Just think right now, because every time we hear of a new tariff issue, we also see the stock market take a pretty good sized drop. Could you imagine what the stock market would be doing if we weren't trying to level the playing field on tariffs? Stock market would be, well, we're 25,300 as we speak. It would be significantly higher than that. Great stuff. Now, obviously, and nobody's talking about these issues, what are we looking at with the tariffs? And again, you listen to Ron Siegel Radio to get the real scoop, not the made-up stuff that a lot of the media is talking about. What's happening with the tariffs? What are the expectations? So here's what's going on now. China's looking at it, and China's coming up and saying, if we can only get through November, right? So they're going to drag their feet along. They're not going to really give in until they see if they have to in November. You see, the world understands U.S. politics. So China's watching that and saying, if we can get through November, maybe if there's a change, if we continue this tit for tat thing, then maybe there'll be the administration will give in a little bit. I think they're misinterpreting the will of President Trump. Just my opinion, but I think that's what's going to happen. And I have heard some interviews with folks that were in China, and they have already said these exact things, that they believe there's an internal battle in the administration. Some want tariffs, some don't want tariffs. President then makes his decision. China's on the sidelines saying, you know something, I think that they're going to give in before the election. If they don't give in, now we're going to get back to that level playing field. What else are we not hearing? Well, I talked to you yesterday that new housing starts were way up according to the latest census reports. Okay, what is going to happen with new housing? Now, the agents I talked to, and I told you I spoke to hundreds of real estate professionals last week at a conference I was at. So a lot of areas, real estate agents are saying, you know something, we're seeing the market, slow down a little bit. It's not on fire. Does that mean it's regressing? No. It means instead of having 10.2% appreciation, maybe we're going to go down to 6.2% appreciation. Now, I've told you before, the 43-year history in California, in Orange County, 43-year average, 4.3%, I believe is the number. I'll look it up in the break. But we're not getting those kind of numbers right now. But here's the issue. So if you don't have price flexibility, and now we've got tariffs going on in Turkey on steel and aluminum from Turkey. A lot of people say, okay, well, we got steel and aluminum from Turkey. What kind of steel do we have to worry about from Turkey? Well, only the majority of the rebar that we use in the United States. What do we use rebar for? Now you're talking, again, you're listening to the guy that doesn't even know what end of a screwdriver to use, right? Rebar, that's what they use to make our houses. That's what they use to make our pools. That's what they use to set foundations, right? That's where we're using rebar. Now, if the majority of the rebar is coming out of Turkey, and now we've got tariffs added to Turkey steel, well, that means the cost of building a house is going to go up. But there's no price flexibility on the resale side. Well, what that's going to mean, it's going to compress a little bit of the profits from the builders. So let's just watch that part of it. That's going to be an issue that's coming up. Not that it's a good thing, not that it's a bad thing. It just is what it is. I have a friend of mine that tells me all the time, he says, Ron, don't worry about whether you've got good news or bad news. Just talk about the news, right? Then you as our listener can make a decision, is that good news or is that bad news? That's the issue right there. I don't know, because it depends on your point of view, right? If you're a builder, you're probably saying, you know something, that's not very good news. If you're a home buyer, you're saying, well, it doesn't matter to me. We've got price compression. Prices are not escalating, not a problem. I did give you a bum number, 5.12% is the home appreciation average over the last 43 years for Orange County, California. 5.12. So if we're all the way down to 6.2 or a forecasting of 6.2, is that a problem? No. It's not as good as at 10, but I'm going to suggest to you right now, and we'll talk to Lynda about this in the next segment, 10% appreciation is probably not good, right? That means that the market is very, very hot, and what goes up by 10.2 can go down by 10.2. So you don't want to get too excited about significant appreciation. If you remember back, if you were in real estate in 2005, 2006, 2007, everybody was really excited because properties were appreciating at 10, 15, 20% a year. Buy a house today, hold it a year, make a boatload of money. Yeah, but then you got to remember what happened in 2008. But here's the issue. Just go back 43 years and on average 5.12. So what does that mean to you? That if you bought in 2006, you might have to hold that property a little bit longer to get back to par, and we're basically there right now, right? So it's not a major issue. Now, if you were thinking that you had to sell, then it's a major issue, right? That's why we talk about having that emergency fund all the time, right? You don't want to be forced to sell when you don't want to sell. You want to sell when you're ready, not when somebody else is ready. The idea in real estate is no different than any other investment. Buy low, sell high, right? It's really a pretty simple thing. You got buy low, sell high, and you've got Economics 101, supply and demand, and you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, what can you expect from your real estate agent? Maybe a little experience, and is it just a matter of putting your property onto the MLS? We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products for you. The only one I know of with the Fast Pass loan approval, allowing your real estate professional to check, easy for me to say, box J4 on the residential purchase agreement. Tongue-tied today. I might have to see if there was actually water in this bottle, or maybe it was something else. I don't know. What's going on in the mortgage market in the Mortgage Minute today? Let's take a look at what the bonds are doing. We tell you that every morning. The bond market, well, it's pretty flat right now. I told you that we're always dealing with what is the difference here. We've got the 10-year Treasury yield, that's the interest rate, up 1 basis point at 2.89. Not a whole heck of a lot of excitement there. We've got the Fannie Mae 30-year bond down 6 basis points. Now, when the bond is down, the rate is up. So interest rates are up just a little bit this morning. And obviously, just like I say in real estate, you don't need somebody like me to tell you what the bonds and the rates are doing. There's that super secret website that'll tell you all those things. That's called Google.com. They'll tell you what the bonds are doing. They'll tell you what the 10-year Treasury is doing. The thing that they don't tell you on all those charts is the why are they doing it. Turkish lira back up 5%, with the banks in Turkey now putting huge pressure on their government to do something about the problems that we've been discussing for the last few days. This morning, the Turkish President Erdogan said that Turkey should boycott U.S. products like Apple. Wow, isn't that special? We hope this doesn't escalate. Some other developing nations are also having currency issues. Africa, China, Taiwan, South Korea, and India, all with their currencies moving lower against the dollar. This makes purchases in the U.S. cost more. Banks from these countries could be in trouble because they may have borrowed money with interest rates being low, and now when they go to pay those loans back, if their currency is devalued, they have to pay more, and it will make it difficult to do so. This is how contagion or spreading of this problem can occur. The mortgage bonds are trading down today, interest rates a little bit higher. Small Business Optimism Index from the National Federation of Independent Businesses showed that optimism among small businesses rose 0.7 in July, best level in 35 years. Businesses are excited right now. Looking at the components, plans to hire rose 3 points to the highest level in 9 months, and positions not able to fill rose 1 point to the highest level on record since 1973. So if somebody's telling you they can't find a job, they might have to leave the house. Just a thought right there, because businesses are looking right now. That is the Mortgage Minute, again brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. So let's talk about real estate. And I love having the opportunity to chat with Lynda Eisenmann because I get to learn. So that's the beauty of having you come and join us on such a regular basis. And the more the better.
Well, thank you. That works both ways, you know.
Well, thank you. So a normal market, I thought we would chat a little bit, because anybody that's been in this marketplace for, the last 10 years, actually since we got that first-time home buyer tax credit, the 2008, 2009.
Right.
That was really, the market was soft then. There was that incentive for people to buy. those people may have never ever sold a house, right? And now they're looking at the first time ever selling their house, because we saw, according to the National Association of Realtors, their report that they commissioned, that we used to keep our houses 6 years, now we're keeping them 10 years.
Right.
So that puts us right 2018 to the 2008, 2009. People aren't used to a normal market.
Well, you know, when you think about anybody who bought a home in 2008 or 2009, you have to think about the appreciation we've had since then and where they are today and the benefits they've had from buying at that time.
Sure.
So
that's really buy low and your appreciation if you're selling now.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Right?
Without a doubt.
I mean, I don't have the statistics in front of me, but we have to be probably up 40% from then.
Oh, I would think so.
At least.
I would think so.
Right? I know in some places of the Inland Empire, probably more than that.
Even more.
Right? I mean, it's pretty amazing. So if that's the case, you know, probably a year ago, we were hearing that everything in the world was multiple offers, right? I mean, a year ago, year and a half ago, at the real estate convention last week at the Anaheim Convention Center, I heard a lot of agents talking about, and I don't know whether it's so. I'm not a real estate agent. I have a license, but I don't do it, right? But you know, properties aren't the multiple offer right now. And some agents might even have to learn how to do a price reduction conversation, right?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I was looking at property a couple of days ago, actually on a preview day, a realtor tour day, so to speak, where you pick and choose the properties you want to take a look at, you want to view for yourself. And it was a property that I had gone into, and it showed very well. By the way, it had been professionally staged, very nice, priced somewhat in the ballpark, I thought. And one of the reasons, quite frankly, I was looking at that particular development because I had not been in there a long time, and I really wanted to familiarize myself with what was available and what the price range was. And
amazing. And that's just an aside there. Mm-hmm. That's what professional real estate agents do. Something very difficult for an online agent to do. Just aside.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate, just jump in anytime like that. I appreciate that. But it's a matter of really knowing the inventory.
Sure.
And because it was a neighborhood that I had not been in myself for a very long time, and I wanted to check it out. So I pick and choose the properties that I'm going to see that are on any given list that day. And there were times that, you know, I'll look at a large number and then I just squeeze in what I can. But my conversation with the agent was what I found very interesting. And that was, and we talked about the home itself and about the one particular drawback that might be for some buyers. And she said, you know, I really don't know what to do. She asked me if I thought she should be reducing the price. Now, this is an agent, like I said, I really didn't know, and it was a property that I hadn't been in the neighborhood for a long time. But her comment was, you know, I'm not sure what I should do now. I've had this property for sale for 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, and she had not had an offer in 2 weeks. So she wasn't quite sure what to do at that point.
That's the thing that really gets me. Number one, you know, you're out there previewing property. One agent doesn't know when you do these previews. Presumably, agents are out looking because they either want to see the property, they want to know what's going on in the marketplace, or maybe they have a client for a property and they're out previewing, doing some homework ahead of time.
You bet. That's the primary reason I think most agents do preview properties, because we might have a large number to look at and we're going to rule some of them out for different reasons. So if I can show a home that I've already been in, it's immensely helpful, I believe, to the buyers I'm working with.
So what is I don't even want to get into a legal conversation on it, but my thought is, what does that do for a fiduciary responsibility if you're out there potentially looking for your client and the agent says, well, I haven't had any offers in 2 weeks, I don't know what I should do. Holy cow, you start looking at it and saying, I wonder, maybe I can get this for a better price for my client.
Well, that's possible. That's really quite possible. I don't know so much if it's a breach of a fiduciary. It was a general conversation. She didn't say anything like, and by the way, I've heard this from other agents in the past, that my seller's really in a desperate situation. They really need an offer. They really got to sell. To me, that's a little different.
Sure,
than
absolutely.
Asking my opinion of a price.
Okay.
I had another agent who called me on the phone yesterday, and it's an agent who's selling his own home, and asked me what I thought about his price. And it was another one that I had previewed about a week before. And he said, Lynda, I know you were in to see my home, and can I talk to you about my price? What do you think about my price? And by the way, this was an owner agent who was selling, so I had no issue with him asking me that price. And I said, well, I really need to take a look at the comps a little closer to give you an opinion. I said I was viewing property in the area that day. This is another day. I was viewing property just to familiarize myself. Hadn't been in the neighborhood for a while, and I wanted to see prices, and I wanted to see homes in general. So I had two people within a week to ask me what I thought about their price.
Well, that says something about the value that they place on your experience.
Well,
right? I mean,
maybe. Thank you.
Right? Because I mean, if somebody asked me if they ask me my opinion of price, right? I don't go. I mean, I go to a number of houses. I talk to a lot of people, but I'm not out in the trenches. I don't have the experience. That's not what I do. Ask me what I think about interest rates, and I can give you 20 minutes on it and bore you to death, right? But
I get it.
Right, but that's a big difference. So we're going to continue our conversation. Lynda Eisenmann sharing with us and educating us today. We're going to chat more with her when we come back. We are also going to talk, have you outgrown your starter home? We'll talk about that. And there's a few other goodies on the agenda. I'm going to keep them a secret from you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, you'll be able to reach me anytime or often when we're not on air at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter at Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay will be available, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment. Being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. NEST, N-E-S-T, 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. They are the quickest that I've seen to get you the information of new properties listed. Even the coming directly from the MLS boards, I don't see them getting out in text message format to the consumer base as quickly as I see it going from Nest. So check them out. No advertising there for you. It's just a simple piece of information. Have you outgrown your starter home? That's the question today. For many Americans, buying their first home is their first taste of achieving part of the American dream. There is a sense of pride that comes along with owning your own home and building your family's wealth through your monthly mortgage payment. It may seem hard to imagine that the first home you purchased, which made your dreams come true, might not be the home that will allow you to achieve the rest of your dreams. The good news is that it's okay to admit that your home no longer fits your needs. According to CoreLogic's latest home price index, prices in the starter home market have appreciated faster than any other category over the last year at 9.4%.
Wow.
Same time, inventory in this category has dropped 14.2%. So think about that for a second. Two stats directly related to one another. As inventory has decreased and demand has increased, prices have driven up. This is great news if you own a starter home and are looking to move up to a larger home, as the equity in your home has risen as prices have gone up. Even better is the fact that there is a large pool of buyers out there searching for your starter home to help them achieve their American dream. Bottom line, if you've outgrown your starter home, get in touch with me, 800-306-1990, so I can put you in touch with a real estate professional who can explain the market conditions in your area and help you find your next home. That is the real-time real estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Continuing our conversation with Lynda Eisenmann this morning, we are chatting about real estate, normal markets, what's going on in the market. Ironically enough, we didn't really even plan. It's fun when you have really the seasoned, experienced real estate professionals. I don't know if it comes across this way, but generally, we don't script anything that we do. In fact, maybe even 10 minutes before the broadcast, we had no clue what we were going to talk about, right? And the beauty of that is that we don't need to, right? Because Lynda's got the experience that there's not a whole lot that I could come up with, that you can come up with, that has really, it's really new. I mean, right? The only thing that we hadn't seen before, Lynda, was neither one of us were around for the Great Depression. Right?
Thank God.
Exactly. And in 2008, we did see real estate prices drop 30, 40, 50% in many areas. And really, those are the only two times we've ever seen that big of a drop.
Well, that big of a drop, yes, but there have been other declines in the market in general.
And that's normal, though.
It was, and I hate to date myself, but the early 70s was a somewhat challenging time, and then also the early 80s was also a very difficult time. You know, we were dealing with very, very high interest rates,
right?
And as a result of that, the demand was
down. You mean
down.
it was above 5%?
It was well above It was the
Might have been another digit in front of 5%.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Double digit interest rates at the time. Can I back up just one
Sure.
thing on something that we said before your break? When somebody asks me, and I say somebody meaning not a member of the public, not a seller, but when another agent asks me my opinion of the price of their listing, I'm very, very careful about giving that opinion because I haven't done the research. I haven't done the homework ahead of time. When I have a home seller who calls me and says, Lynda, I'm thinking about selling my home. We're ready to move on. I'm not going to pick a figure out of the air. I mean, it's a lot of time, a lot of effort, really diagnosing that price and diagnosing what the ultimate asking price should be and whether or not that's the same or a little more than the ultimate selling price. And it's a matter of doing your homework. It's a matter of due diligence. I'm not just going to pick a number out of the air. It's got to be...
So let me ask you a question about your process there,
Yes.
Lynda. So, and I have no clue. We didn't script any of this. Lynda has no clue about the question I'm going to ask.
Okay, go ahead. Fire away.
So, when you're working with, talking to somebody about listing their home, do you come in, and I know you've done your due diligence before that meeting is set, and you come in, I'm sure, having an idea of what the right price is. Do you give that information, okay, I think you should list your house at $459,000, or do you go through and say, here's what the competition is on the market now, here's what the past sales are, and kind of guide the consumer, but let them make the decision, or do you come up with a number?
It's always their decision.
Okay.
It's always ultimately their decision. Very often, though, as you can imagine, they will ask me their opinion.
Sure.
And a lot of my sales are repeat sales, and they could be even second-generation sales, and I've had third-generation sales. So hopefully they value my opinion, but it's ultimately their decision. It's not my decision.
Okay. So you're going to educate them so that they can make the best decision.
That's right. And that's an important question too, because I like to have a feel of what the consumer thinks their home is worth. And I'll ask them, if you were to sell your home today, what do you think your home would actually sell for? And
Where do they come out? Do they come out usually higher or lower than both?
Both.
So you're going to see both sides of the coin.
Both.
Interesting. Because I find more often than not when I talk to people about their refinancing, that they almost always have a higher opinion of value than what either CoreLogic will come back with, what some of the automated systems or the appraisal comes in at. And we have to kind of bring them back a little bit to, I don't know if it's reality, because their opinion is just as real as an appraiser's, right? But
I agree.
I'm wondering.
Well, their opinion is real, but their opinion is also biased.
Sure.
For all,
they've got a heart into it.
Exactly.
And
for all of the things that we love about home ownership.
Sure.
I mean, those are all things that basically will influence their decision on the value. They may feel theirs is worth more because versus what their neighbor is, maybe
Sure.
what they've experienced in their home.
So are you seeing now, I kind of want to circle back a little bit to the concept I've been throwing out there of a normal market.
Okay.
How do we set realistic expectations for the public of not having that multiple bid and not being able to in what was it, 89 probably, maybe a little before that, 87, 88, we had a pretty hot market.
88 was great.
Right? And you could basically, I did this. I didn't know. I wasn't very smart. So I took and put a sign in my window, and I bought a house, put a sign in the window the day after we closed escrow, and 3 months later I sold it and made a good chunk of change. Didn't know what I was doing. Didn't realize that I was going to pay a lot of taxes because I didn't hold it long enough.
Didn't hold for 2 years.
Exactly. So, I got to give back about 30% or 40% of what I made.
Gosh.
Right? Because of not getting professional guidance.
That's a good point.
Right?
That's a good point. We've actually had people hold off. And we have held off for that particular reason, that it's not always the right time for them, irrespective of the market.
Sure.
It may not be the right time for that particular home seller to go on the market.
And you're not, again, I go back to this all the time because you probably are getting a theme that I am very, very much against the online representation. right? I don't think you're going to get the right story from them in most markets, and probably now even more so because this normal market concept. So where do we go? What would be the expectations of an agent when we're looking at, not the multiple offers? And I'm going to suggest that if somebody's in the business less than 10 or 12 years, they've never seen a normal market, right? Because of having to price properly, having to be aggressive in marketing, right? I put up a sign. I didn't do anything other than put up the darn sign. Obviously, that was before Al Gore invented the internet, right? So, right. I mean, you needed agents then to we didn't have a listing. You couldn't put something in the MLS then without having a professional real estate agent.
At the time, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
and by the way, that changed. I think it changed with the San Diego Association of Realtors actually quite some time ago.
And we see, I look online, and there's some online service. We'll talk about that in the next segment a little bit. That they'll put your property. They say that all that matters to sell a piece of property is getting it in the MLS. And I would suggest there's a lot. You talked earlier about the property you previewed had staging done to it. Professional staging.
Oh, absolutely. And that makes all the difference in the world, quite frankly. And talking very specifically about staging, when you really think about it, the very first sellers that embraced staging were new home builders.
Sure.
When you think about it, new home builders staged everything in their model homes. They might have had 4 to 6 different model homes, and they still do, as we know.
Sure.
But they were the early staging pioneers, and it's finally caught on among the general consumers, the general public, when it comes to home selling.
I don't know if you know this answer, and I can certainly do the research, and I've had some folks in. An average 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2,000-foot house, approximately, any guess on what it costs to stage something like that? I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. I don't mind one bit. Probably around $2,000.
About $2,000.
Yeah, they're not going to probably stage every single room.
Okay.
But the staging also is commensurate with the value of the property. Meaning, if you're staging a high-end property, you're going to be looking at a different number. You're going to be looking at a different figure for staging.
Sure.
And even a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, they're probably going to stage the living room, and if it has a family room, slight staging in the kitchen. Definitely the master bedroom. I mean, those are really the hot buttons. They may not necessarily stage secondary bedrooms. That can happen at times. You're probably looking at a little over $2,000.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Good foundation for where I want to head in the next segment. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Professional guidance. It is important when you're talking about your castle. We're going to talk about more about that. Bad money habits you can break today, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. Twitter @Ron Siegel. I guess I should start saying Instagram too. I guess that's Ron Siegel as well. So pretty simple to find. We got a theme there. And we'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 0186945 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. I know your credit report is wrong because in all the years I've been looking at credit reports, I have never, ever seen one that's completely accurate. Best score I've ever seen is an 834, but even that one wasn't completely accurate. There was errors on the report. So let's chat about some bad money habits you can break today. Everybody has bad habits. Just part of being human. I try to squash a bad habit as soon as I recognize one. My wife told me she will too if she ever recognizes one. Luckily, she's out having coffee right now and not listening. I'm sure you're in the same boat. It's easy to develop bad money habits early on in life, and it can be difficult to kick them once you recognize them in a time where many people are living paycheck to paycheck or... See, sometimes you look at these reports and that's kind of dating us because most of us don't live paycheck to paycheck anymore. It's direct deposit to direct deposit.
Right.
Bad financial habits can potentially cost you thousands of dollars, money you could be investing for retirement or saving for a down payment on that dream home. Which of these bad habits are you guilty of and how can you stop them? It's easier to stop them once you identify them. Number one, spending more than you can afford on credit cards. Most credit card interest rates are well over 15%. Bad news for credit card holders. These high interest rates mean you're paying more in interest and that your debt is adding up quicker. 15% means that every 4.5 years, that debt is doubling. Think about that for a minute. Every 4.5 years, basically, that's the number. Opening new lines of credit for rewards. It's kind of like the checkout stand at the grocery store where they've got those impulse items. Getting that reward, it might not be what you think it is. It's going to cost you money. Number three, not using a budget. Unless you've got boatloads of money, highly recommend using a budget. That way you plan for the Christmas expenses, you plan for the vacation, pay for them ahead of time. It works out a lot better for you. Even cars you can pay for. I used to have a neighbor that basically bought used cars for cash. So he'd pay $5,000 or $7,000 for an older model BMW or a nicer car, but then he saved up. When he had enough money, he'd buy a new car. It was a used car, but it was new to him. Number four, impulse buying. How much do you do there? Can you imagine how much money we all should be saving if we're shopping on Amazon? Right, you go to Amazon, find what you want, buy it, and you don't get in my case, the extra candy bar right near the front checkout stand. Think about that one. Using investments accounts as emergency funds. Bad news. You need to have an emergency account right there in case your air conditioning unit goes out, in case you get a couple of flat tires. Saw some road hazards out there, and you saw a number of people hit the road hazards, right? Right now, there's going to be a lot of people, we talked about this yesterday, that are going to be out shopping for flood insurance. It's a new thing, right? In the burn areas, you better start looking at flood insurance because you're not covered in most instances for floods, and even if you're in the hills, the water comes down the hills in the rainy season if we get one, and it's going to be something to deal with. That's the Your Credit Matters segment. That is some bad tips. Break them today. That's continuing our conversation now. Lynda Eisenmann is with us. We've been chatting about real estate, normal markets, and we were chatting before the break about discount brokers, and are you really getting what you think, and what, more importantly, are you getting what you need? And I'm going to suggest, I just saw one of the big ones that I see the commercials on all the time, and I'm not going to mention their name because I don't want you to go see them, because I don't think they're, my opinion, they are not in your best interest for buying or selling real estate. You need somebody like Lynda, who's been doing this a while, has seen the markets, and can give you good, experienced guidance. You can go online and find guidance, but I don't know whether it's accurate or not. And I don't think it's got any experience because the internet hasn't been there that long. And they're not knowing your situation and your family, but just a simple one. One of the big ones that's doing a lot of advertising out here. $3,600 flat fee to list your house. Now, Lynda, we were talking about staging before, and a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's not out of line to be a starter home.
No, it's not. And
right?
you know, getting back to the staging issue again, staging is usually commensurate with the value of the property.
Okay.
And when I mentioned around $2,000, that's kind of like a starting range. And,
okay.
And staging is so important to that home seller because data shows that stage homes sell for far more than they would unstaged, so to speak. And again, getting back to new...
And just a shameless plug, homes sold by a realtor sell for more money than homes sold by a homeowner. But go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But getting back to that, one of the things I mentioned during the break that, you know, when it comes to, first of all, when it comes to preparing your home for sale, that's something that's absolutely crucial. We have a list of things that we ask our sellers to go through. And even when it comes to home staging, we do occupied staging. And occupied staging means we bring the stager in to somebody who is currently living in their home, and they could have a family with a couple of kids. And I'll tell you, the way you live in a home and you sell a home are two entirely different things.
Part of that is, and that brings up another point, is you really don't. I don't know anybody that wants to have their home listed. Right? They want it sold.
I wouldn't. It's like being in a goldfish bowl.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. And, you know, getting a higher price is also commensurate with how long the home has been on the market. And the better it shows, the better it looks, the more appealing it is to the average home buyer, the quicker the sale they're going to get. It's not going to be a stale listing, so to speak. Because if I'm at an open house, one of the very first questions I get from home buyers when they walk in, how long has this home been on the market? And I'll tell you that most of them already know. Because the majority of the people that come through my open houses today, and I still hold open houses myself, the majority of the people that have come through the open house has found it online. So they already know the price before they even have come in the door. And they also know how long it's been listed. And I think they want to know if I'm being straightforward also with representing the property itself. So having that information online is immensely helpful, but the photos, the way the property looks, and getting back to staging. And I mentioned to you during one of the breaks that there's a very successful stager that I know that has just, her business has just developed over the past probably 10 to 12 years through staging, and she's a very high-end stager. And I will tell you, most of the homes that we represent in Orange County are more moderately priced. So the staging is commensurate.
Moderate for Orange County.
Moderate for Orange County, right. Starter home at $700,000.
Right.
Okay. This lady stages $7 million houses.
Sure.
So our starter homes at $700,000. I'm sorry to say, but
right. That's
yes, those need attention again also.
Sure. And I'm going to suggest, I've got a list here. Anybody that wants this list, I'm more than happy to send it to you. It's fascinating because I hear all the time, what does a realtor do? I've got a list of 180 tasks. Actually, to be exact, it's 184. And I probably don't have every item on there, but 184 tasks. Do you think you're getting that? I don't know about most people, but I probably couldn't sit online and answer 184 questions. right? I mean,
Probably.
I don't have
Probably.
the attention span for
I think
that.
there's more than 184, I can tell you that.
Well, some we might have to add some more to it.
Knowing the business over the years for decades, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and I'm just suggesting, and again, I know I sound like a broken record on this, and it's not self-serving because, like I say, I don't sell real estate. You need somebody that's going to really go out there and understand the marketplace for you. Because, you talk about the $3,600, so we go back to just a little quick math. Right, so we had $3,600 is what this online service does. Just say round numbers, and maybe we're understated at $2,000 just for staging, $1,600. Photos, what, $250?
About $350 on average
$350
for
for
me.
photos?
Yes.
Okay, so you take that one off of there, and my math, now I got to do math in my head, I'm in trouble. $1,250 left, and then you've got marketing expenses, you've got taxes, you've got an office, a phone, insurance. It doesn't work, right? The math there just doesn't work, so there's no possible way that you can get value at a flat rate like that.
You're
Am
right.
I missing something?
No, you're not. And I question whether or not they actually are able to provide the services that a really top-notch realtor can.
Right, I'm with you there. It's just impossible to do. Now, can they put it on the MLS for that, and can they get you online for $3,600? Absolutely. Call me, I'll do it for free. But it's not going to get you the house sold, because what's going to end up, why would I do it for free? Well, it's very, very simple. Because I know 3 weeks from now you're going to call me up and you say, Ron, can you reintroduce me to a professional real estate agent? Because just because my house is on the internet and it's listed, it's not going to get it sold. Just my opinion. And again, I don't, like I say, it would just be me introducing you to somebody that really knows what they're doing and asking you, as I always do, set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.